What's up guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here. So today I'm doing actually an update to my For Hire deck. It doesn't have any like direct new support that came out, but it has a really cool card that came out in the last set that actually is awesome in the deck. So I'll definitely be showing you that. It's a card, it's not too expensive, but I would probably pick it up if I was you because it might go up in price, who knows. But yeah, let's get right into this one. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe. I still do have a few decks for my top 10 budget decks of this format. I have ABC coming up, Cyber Dragon, and then Mermail. We'll see when I get those out. I still have to get a few cards for those decks, but they will be here before too long. So let's get right into this one. So basically, we have two different For Hire main deck monsters. We have the little guys, which are basically level 4 or lower, and then we have the bigger guys, which are level 6 or higher. And so all the little guys, they have the same effect, where during your main phase, you can special summon a For Hire monster from your hand, and then beat, if a monster For Hire is special summoned to your field while you control this card, you can add another monster For Hire from your deck to your hand. So he is by far the best one. He's getting you more monsters to your hand, which is what this deck wants to do. And it just wants to special summon them. So beat, definitely the best one. And then another very good one is Seal. You play him at 3. Again, you can special summon a For Hire from your hand if you have this card. And then if a For Hire is special summoned to your field, you can target one For Hire in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So again, that's kind of fits in with everything because you want the For Hires in your hand. And we play 2 Philo. And if a For Hire is special summoned to your field, you can target a For Hire in your graveyard and special summon it. So pretty dang good. And it's also level 1. So obviously you can play cards like 1 for 1. I actually left that out of this version, but you can play it if you want. And then also playing 2 Donpa. If a monster For Hire special summoned to your field where you have this card, you can target a face-up card on the field and destroy it. So that's good, obviously, for going second and getting rid of like a, face-up trap that your opponent has. That's a problem card or field spell or even monster. Play 2 Helmer. Helmer, if a monster For Hire is special summoned, you can discard a For Hire card and then draw a card. So that's decent draw power. 1 Bravo. This, you can have all monsters For Hire you control gain 500 attack until the end of the turn. If you special summon another For Hire while he's on the field. And then the last of the little guys is Recon. Recon, if a For Hire is special summoned to your field while you control this card, you could target a set card on the field and destroy it. So that's probably the least most important one, but in some matchups it is very good. So definitely just want as many different ones as you can at minimum, at just 1 for these last 2. But and then for the big ones, we are playing 3 Rafale or Rafa, I don't know how else to say it. But so this one, if it's special summoned, you can excavate the top cards of your deck equal to the number of For Hire cards you control, except for him, and then you can add one of them to your hand, shuffle the rest in the deck. But the main reason we're playing him at 3 is because when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can discard a For Hire card and you negate the activation of that monster effect. So he's very good, obviously good, against decks that are highly reliant on monster effects or hand traps, anything like that. He is very, very good. And we also play Wiz, Sage For Hire. If this card is special summoned, you gain 500 life points for each For Hire you control with a different name. And then when your opponent activates a spell and trap card or effect, you can discard a For Hire and negate the activation. So again, just another decent one to kind of end your board on. And then the last For Hire monster we play is Dinah. If this card is special summoned, you can banish cards from your opponent's graveyard up to the number for hires you control. And then monsters your opponent controls cannot target for hire monsters you control except for this one. So he, again, decent, not the craziest card, but he's definitely good. And then the new kind of pseudo support that I was talking about is a really cool card called Arch-Nemesis S Cantos. I don't know if you can see that. But basically, I don't know if you can tell, but basically all these for hires have different types, and that's kind of what the deck does. Is it just has monsters with all different types. So that's where this card becomes very, very good, because you special summon this from your hand by banishing 3 monsters with different types from your graveyard. So that's honestly very, very easy to do, because all of these are going to have different types. And then you'll special summon him, and then he cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can declare 1 monster type on the field, and you destroy all monsters on the field with that type. And then also until the end of the next turn, neither player can special summon monsters with that type. So this could potentially lock your opponent out. You know, if you're playing against a warrior deck, you just declare a warrior, and they're not going to be able to special summon monsters of that type. So, you know, rock type against like Adamanticators, that's going to kill them. So it's a really cool tech card, but it's also honestly a card that I feel is perfect for this deck. A deck that just plays a lot of different types. You're going to be able to get this out super easily. Obviously, no way of searching it in this particular deck, but amazing nonetheless. And then to kind of round out our monsters, we put a lot of monsters obviously in this deck. I'm doing a bunch of kaijus. So this is kind of more a going second version, I guess you could say, since there's kaijus. But so we play 1 Gameciel, 1 Humongous, 1 Godarla, Radian, Doggerin, Jizukuru, and Thunder King. Basically, almost all of them. You could, if you feel like it, you could cut out like Godarla if you want to, or one of these guys. But I just wanted as many as I could, and they're all different types except for Humongous and Godarla. But they're obviously good, you know, because they're all different types. But then they're also very good, obviously, going second. Just getting rid of problem monsters. Absolutely amazing for that. So I always love seeing a kaiju in my opening hand when I'm going second, because then I know there's at least one monster that your opponent is not going to be able to use. And if they make just a big boss monster, it's just straight up gone. So kaijus are really nice, again, especially in this build. And then for the spells, playing 3 Mayhem for hire. This one, you just target a for hire in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. So it just gets you another free monster on board. And then since we're playing all those kaijus, you have to play 3 Interrupt Kaiju Slumber. It just blows up the board, special summons a kaiju to each side of the board. So really good. You know, it doesn't always go through, but you know, we play all these kaijus, so if you don't get this off, you could probably still be able to get a kaiju to their board because you'll have one in hand. So definitely like that card. And then you got a bunch of one-ofs. Mind Control. Again, we're kind of more going second, leaning towards it, and Mind Control is just amazing. And also, that'll help you go into full go sometimes, because this just requires 3 monsters with different types. So as long as you're making a different type than the one you control from your opponent, you're just going to flat out steal that to make full go, which is a really good link card. Tenki. Tenki is going to search your seal, which is very, very good. Reinforcement of the Army is going to search your beat, which I said was your best card in the deck, best for hire monster. Pinpoint Landing is a cool little tech card, because if you special summon a monster from your hand, you can draw a card. So kind of cool. You can potentially draw quite a bit of additional cards off of that. And then Instant Fusion. Again, it's kind of a going second, and also we can use it for going into full go. And I have even another option for Instant Fusion too. That'll just kind of give you some potential power. And then the last 3 cards we play is there can only be one. Each player can only control one monster of each type. And with us pretty much playing all different types, this card doesn't hurt us, but it's almost always going to hurt your opponent. I mean, unless you're playing like Rock Stun or something weird like that. This is going to hurt your opponent more than it's going to hurt you, especially with this deck. So that is the main deck. Extra deck, most important one for the for hires is going to be Fulgo. Like I said, he does just require 3 monsters with different types. And then if he's link summoned, you can special summon a for hire monster from a different type than the monsters you use to make this card. So potentially a very, very good card. Sometimes you'll even be able to just get a Rafale directly from the deck. Just a good monster negate. So, and then also, if a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can draw a card. And if you have 3 or more for hire monsters with different names, you can draw 2 additional cards. So potentially, this can be just outrageous with the amount of cards you're drawing. Very, very good card. And then just some kind of generic links. Phoenix, getting rid of problem spells, because you can kind of spam the board fairly easily with monsters. So Phoenix is nice. Unicorn. And then again, since we can just spam the board, Trisbania is very, very nice to just get rid of spells and traps on the field. And then Topologic Bomber is going to get rid of monsters in the main monster zone if you just special summon a card to the zone. So really nice. And then some other link 4s is Borreload and then Saryuja. They're both fairly easy to make if you ever want to. You can get some, card advantage or just a pretty hard monster for your opponent to out, depending on the matchup, is Borreload. So definitely those, because they are, again, pretty easy to make. And that's it for the links. For our Xyz, playing Ronin Raccoon, just requires 2 level 2 beast types. Detach 1, and you'll be able to special summon a token. So that's going to help you, be able to go into link plays and stuff. Pretty good card. And then rank 3. We're playing Break Sword just to get rid of problematic cards. We have quite a few level 3s in the deck, so this becomes fairly easy to make. And then the rank 4 we play is Baguska. My idea behind kind of these choices in general is if you're going to go into an Xyz, you want it to be something that's, doing something right away for you, or that's going to just allow you to stall and just shut most decks down. So Baguska is kind of cool for that. And then let me go into the fusions first. So for instant fusion, I actually have 2 targets. Thousand Eyes Restrict. Again, we're going second. Sometimes you want to just steal an opponent's monster. And then the other one is Sea Monster of Theseus. It's a level 5 zombie. So you don't play any zombies in the main deck, so this could potentially go into Fulgo very easily. But it's also a level 5 tuner. So that'll allow you to go into some synchros. Black Rose Moonlight for the level 7. And then Omega for the level 8. I thought those would be the easiest ones for this deck to go into. Black Rose Moonlight is very good with kaijus. I've explained it before in a few other decks. But basically, if your opponent has a kaiju, if this card is special summoned, you can then target a special summon card your opponent controls and return that target to the hand. So you have a kaiju, make this, return that kaiju back to the hand, and then you can special summon it back and tribute another monster they control. So Black Rose could potentially just break a board just by itself. So obviously with another kaiju. But super cool. And then Omega, just ripping a card out of your opponent's hand and then having him come back every standby phase is kind of annoying. So that is the deck, guys. I thought I would just do, take a break from our top 10 budget decks and just kind of do a very fun deck that I've been wanting to do for a while, especially with this new Arch-Nemesis card. Really cool in this deck. So yeah, try it out. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll catch you on the next one.